Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. I wanted to give you a heads up about some of the things that I'm doing right now on YouTube and Rumble. When I first started the Last Symptom podcast, it was written articles. Keep bumping my mic here. It was written articles. And then after that, there was a short time, I think, in the second season where I tried to implement some video. I didn't really know what I was doing at that time, and so it never really took off. And I just stayed with audio. And at that time, I had thousands and thousands of listeners in the audio format. As time has gone on, I'm now on the fourth year of doing this. The audio, people who prefer the audio, what I've noticed is that that's kind of going down, and more people are enjoying the videos that I'm doing. So, and I've gotten better at it, and that's surely got something to do with it, I think I remember even in the early days when I was trying to do video, I think the very first one I did, I was sitting like on a couch or something like that, and the camera was real far away, and, so I'm learning, just in the last couple of weeks, I've learned that I need to start looking more at the camera, stuff like that. My point is that the video side of the work that I do is getting more popular. So I'm trying to give more of my attention to those platforms, YouTube, Rumble, particularly Rumble, because I know that my work is safe there. And frankly, I don't have that confidence in YouTube. At any time, literally at any time, some highfalutin psychologist could say, this guy is an agent of misinformation, and they could shut me down. That would have been crazy to even imagine 5 years ago. It's not crazy anymore. The censorship everywhere is really ramped up. And I think the only reason that I've gotten away with contradicting the professional community up to this point is that the topics that I discuss have not been turned politicized. If the topics that I discuss, borderline personality disorder, emotional disorders, emotional health, if those turn politicized at some point in the future, for a certainty, YouTube would lock me out of my channel. So what has kept me safe, I think, up till now has been the fact that the particular topics that I discuss have not been politicized. But come that day, then if I were putting all my eggs into one basket on YouTube, then I would lose everything. I would lose all of my followers. I would lose all of my work and all of the investment that I've made. So that's why Rumble is so important. Rumble, my group, my community, which is over on Locals. I took that off Facebook for the same reason, that I had no confidence in continuing to make an investment on that platform. So I wanted to give you an idea of what you can expect if you're a YouTube subscriber, if you're a Rumble subscriber, what you can expect, what I'm working real hard at. And this will explain, for example, why this week's show, The Last Symptom, what we're at today, 26. So season 4, episode 26. The reason why I had to do that the way I did that is because what I'm doing is I'm going back through the whole bank of episodes. I'm editing out information that was included in those shows originally, 2 years, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that is outdated. So, for example, I had different websites at that time. My dog licking his nuts in the background. Orson, knock that off. Wait, you're not doing anything wrong. Just wait until we get done here. So there was information in those shows, like websites that I had not yet created, or old websites that I was using at that time. There was, for example, I made lots of references to the Facebook education group in those shows. People are coming behind now. They're hearing these shows for the first time, and then they're going and searching for that group, and it doesn't exist anymore. There's a much better group. It's at Locals, thelastsymptom.locals.com. I don't even have a Facebook account anymore, so that's a brand new thing. It took me a whole year to completely divorce myself from Facebook, because I couldn't just do it from one day to the next, because I would lose a large portion of my audience. It wouldn't have been fair to people. They wouldn't have known where to go, where I'm at nowadays. So I waited. I wanted to go through the whole first season of the show at least and delete any reference to the Facebook group. I'm now currently doing the same thing, going through the whole second season of the Last Symptom podcast and trying to direct everybody to these new places where our conversations are safe. My investment is secure. I know that I'm not going to put years, of attention and time into developing these nice communities and these nice places where folks can consume the information that I share about authentic recovery, just to have the rug pulled out from underneath my feet. I understand, when I first started making these changes, a lot of people thought it was political in nature. And that's just the environment that we live in nowadays, is that everything, when I was in my 20s and stuff, I couldn't have cared less about politics. But now everybody their emotions are so tightly interwoven with politics, so that the most benign and innocent and neutral things that you say are being interpreted through a political filter. So when I started making all these changes, I know that a lot of folks, and it didn't help that I chose the timing to make these changes, because it was right around the time of a major presidential election and those sorts of things. And that certainly informed my decision, but not from a political standpoint. It was from a censorship standpoint. I was looking at things being censored that before in history, at least here in the United States, would never have been censored before. It was a principle that, it's a principle that is important to most Americans. And so when I started seeing a betrayal of a respect for this principle, I started worrying, because I said, well, in my work, I contradict authorities on these subjects all the time, because the authorities don't know what they're talking about. If I had only listened to the authorities, I would have never rid myself authentically of borderline personality disorder. That's just the plain truth. At some point, I had to stray from what they were teaching and begin using critical thinking and building off of some, really big epiphanies that I had. So when I'm talking to my audience, all the time I'm contradicting the people with the highfalutin degrees and stuff, and who are considered the professional community. And I would like for them to learn from my personal experience of having had borderline personality disorder and having had recovered from it. But they don't seem interested in doing that. And what I'm seeing out in the world is that this is the case in everything. The people who have a monopoly on being the sources of information want to maintain that monopoly, rather than actually helping people or actually being open to the possibility that the information that they're sharing with people is not accurate. So I'm getting off on a tangent there, but so what you can expect here, and that I've been working very hard on, is taking all of the old episodes, uploading those to YouTube, Rumble, and organizing both those channels. You're going to have playlists so that if you want to find an episode, for example, in the first season, you just go to that playlist. It'll be in there. Up till now, the whole first, well, not the whole first, but the whole half first season of the Last Symptom podcast was not even on the current YouTube channel, because all those had uploaded automatically to the old YouTube channel, which, if you'll remember, I had to end and restart. I had to restart a brand new YouTube channel, which is the one that you're watching this on now, or you're watching this on Rumble. So it's all going to be nice and improved, comprehensive and complete. Everything's going to be nicely organized. That's what I'm currently involved with doing, as well as going back to early episodes and editing those. The show that you saw this week, season 4, episode 26, was actually it was originally part of season 2, episode 8. And that episode ran about an hour and a half long. And so when I was going through and editing that, I said to myself, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. I can take out a large portion of this recording and make it into its brand new standalone recording of its own. More people will benefit from that information then. But at the same time, it'll give me a break this week so that I can continue this editing work and this organizational work. So I know that it wasn't the video version of this week's episode of the Last Symptom podcast was probably not to everybody's liking. It was just me playing audio and sitting here working. But I wanted to provide folks with the video experience at the same time that they're getting the audio experience, because, as I said at the beginning of this, more and more people seem to be enjoying the video. And I'm getting better at the video. I'm getting to feel more natural doing it. And so that's why you got that episode the way you got it this week. Let's see, is there any other announcements I want to make while I've got yous all here? I don't think so. I've just been very, very busy. 12, 14-hour days I've been putting in with all this organizational work and just the other things that I still have to keep up on. So I'm still trying to keep up with everything I normally do, at the same time going back and then bringing lots of things up to date. So that's what I'm involved with. I hope you folks appreciate it. I appreciate your patience. I'm glad that we've got so many subscribers on YouTube, and I don't want to scare you folks away. Just know that at any time, if the things I discuss, which are totally non-political in nature, were to become politicized, the whole YouTube experience could just go. So just know that if that were to ever happen, and I got my fingers crossed it won't, because I like YouTube. I like that platform. But if that were to ever happen, just know that Rumble makes a wonderful backup. And no, they don't have all the kinks to their thing completely eliminated, but I will tell you that I have really been enjoying the Rumble app experience. So if I'm watching videos on my phone, the experience of watching videos on Rumble are just as pleasurable for me as watching them on YouTube. Now watching videos on my TV, that's a whole different experience. But Rumble will catch up. They're a little bit behind, and YouTube's been around forever and ever, and they've got this enormous infrastructure already in place, and Rumble is trying to duplicate that, and they will, but it'll take time. And I'll tell you, with every update to that Rumble app, it just keeps getting better and better. So I hope you guys understand that that's my thinking. I'm making decisions for the long haul that provide me security in my investments. What investments am I talking about? I'm talking about my time, my energy, and my attention. Those investments. So I'm not talking about this huge monetary investment that I'm making, but it doesn't make sense for me to make this huge investment in time, energy, and attention just to have some idiot CEO or at YouTube or on Facebook just one day just take it all from me. So Can't do that. So those are the reasons why I've been putting such an emphasis on these alternative platforms, which really offer great services. The locals platforms, but probably the best decision I ever made was to get off Facebook when I did, and to get that started. And we've got hundreds of members. Last time I checked, it was over 700, but there's new people coming in every single day, and that was 2 weeks ago. So we're probably closing in on 800 members on thelastsymptom.locals.com. So you don't have to worry about, well, if I join there, it's just a dead place. No, it's different than Facebook, but there's a reason. There are good reasons why it's different. It's a different experience. And there are two different types of membership there. You can be a free member, so you can follow 99% of the content that goes up on the group. You could follow that at no cost. But then there is this other type of membership where you can pay. It's $7 a month, or I think you can get a whole year for $70. And then what that support does is it supports the platform, because they're not making any money off of ads and stuff like that, or by spying on you or your internet activity and then manipulating you and censoring you and all that stuff. So they do need that. They do need support, and the way they do that is by the paid memberships. It supports them, but I'd also like you to know that it supports me. So it supports the platform itself when people become full subscribers or full members, and at the same time it supports me. So I'm not making thousands of dollars off of it, but it is enough to support me, and that little bit every month sure is nice when things are tight. So just give it some thought. And that's it. That's all I really got to say. I just wanted to hop on here. I felt bad that for 2 weeks now, you haven't had a proper video. So here's your proper video. You folks be good to yourselves. Thanks for letting me talk at you here for so long. And I have no script or anything. I just thought, well, I'm just going to go off the cuff. Tomorrow, I'll be in Tennessee picking up that puppy for my daughter. If you don't know what puppy I'm talking about, you would if you were on our locals group. So consider joining us there. thelastsymptom.locals.com. You folks be good to yourselves this weekend, and I'll catch you real soon.